So, welcome to the Army of Darkness Pinball. And Ash versus the Army of Darkness Pinball, to be more accurate. Now, I created this game after I worked on Tarantino, which itself was kind of a mod of Pulp Fiction, which is why the displays are like that. I just thought it fit this theme better to have these old school digital displays with a new school LCD on the back wall. So it's kind of a mixture of two very different times. And that's what this game is really. It's a mixture of two different times. Two times suddenly blended together. Modern day American man in medieval England. Which makes this film incredibly fun to watch. If you haven't seen it, you've got to watch it. Now, Evil Dead 2 is my favourite of the Evil Dead films. But the Army of Darkness is absolutely the best choice for a pinball experience. Because of the setting, that it is in medieval England, because it's you've got a very obvious bad guy to beat, you've got the Army of Darkness to attack, you've got the castle, you've got the maiden, you've got the necromancer, you've got the witches, you've got the lord, and of course, Ash himself is the hero in this game. And he's got all the best lines are in this film as well, including Give Me Some Sugar, Hail to the King, baby, and all the other things that he says. It's just absolutely fantastic, is this movie, and an absolutely fantastic pinball experience. Now, I know in the real world there is an Evil Dead pinball machine now made by Spooky. Now, I did have the opportunity to play this thing when I was at Pinfest earlier this year, but unfortunately there was 4 people playing on a 4-player game. So for me to sort of stand behind them and wait, I couldn't be bothered. So I didn't get the chance to play Evil Dead at the UK Pinball Festival, which is a shame. But the look of it was very, very, very nice indeed. It was a very beautiful machine. Very impressed. The only thing that I didn't like about the machine is that Bruce Campbell's voiceover was a bit boring, you know, like he was reading the lines from a script rather than actually acting. He's an actor. I mean, anybody can read lines from a script, but he needed to put a little bit more character into his voiceover. So that's the only thing that disappointed me. And it was the loudest game in the whole show. The loudest game. It blew away everything else. I don't know what the sound system was or is on that game, but very, very, very impressive. I mean, King Kong was right next to it, and I couldn't even hear it. It was all Evil Dead. That's all I could hear. So that's my Evil Dead story. Back to Virtual Pinball, where I live. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the lights on.
My name is Ash. The year is 1300 AD.
So this will just be rattling around in the background. Sometimes when I leave the ball in the plunger lane, I do have some quotes playing to sort of prompt the player to launch the ball. So this is an update. So I'm going to show you some new stuff that I've added to this game that didn't feature in the previous version a year ago. So one of the new things that I've added, and this is a brand new feature in pinball, and it's called Battlecry. Now, Battlecry requires you to hit the slingshots in quick succession. So you've got 5 lights on the left slingshot, and you've got 5 lights on the right slingshot. Now, if you hit them in quick succession, you know how ball goes back and forth very quickly. If you manage to get to 5 lights on both within a short period of time, you get Battlecry. And what Battlecry does is it gives you a playfield booster. No, that insert's wrong. That should be 2x, not A. It gives you a sort of a playfield booster where the scores increase. And it just gives you a rallying battle cry to sort of get you going in the game and gives you a bit of a boost. So that's brand new in pinball. I've never seen the slingshots used like that before to create a battle cry. And there's a great call out as well, which is used in the film. So that's a new feature. And then I changed the rules for this bumper configuration here. So when you hit the bumpers a set number of times, what happens now is you get the gift of life. See that insert there? The gift of life. Now what that does is that gives you immunity for a set number of seconds, whether it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or 60 seconds, depends on how much immunity you've actually built up. So that's the gift of life, which comes from the evil forest. But there's a good spirit in the evil forest that gives you the gift of life. Other new things as well, I've added a extra flipper now. There's an extra flipper up here, so this has 3 flippers on it now, and this one is aimed mainly at this loop here, so it assists with making that loop, and it also is aimed to hit these targets as well. And on occasion you can hit this sort of left ramp here. So it's very useful in the game. You can't shoot behind it, which is what I normally do with an upper flipper. I normally have an option to shoot behind it. I just put a rubber there instead. So that adds a little bit more fun to the game, and of course it's a rubber, so there's a bouncy bit there if you don't want to use it. You can just let the ball hit it and bounce back, so there's lateral movement to the game. And what happens is it's set up from this shot here to the unholy path. So if you shoot the ball into this scoop here, the ball ejects on the holy path, much slower than in the previous version. And it sets up that flipper for a perfect shot to either complete the loop here or to knock down these targets, or even hit the magnet if you want to start the quest. So that's all new. So the fire button here activates the wonderful Bolt Saver, which is a double-barrel shotgun that comes out from underneath the playfield. So you'll see that in previous videos that I've created. There is a kickback here as well, which I call the boom back. Not kickback, boom back. So it allows you to get the ball back into play from that way as well. But it's more fun if the ball drains down straight down the middle. You get the ball coming right back between the flippers via the double-barrel shotgun. And these lights have been added as well. These are the multipliers that correlate with the Battlecry. Okay, and then you have the wonderful Book of the Dead, or the Necronomicon, which actually comes to life. It actually comes to life. It moves, the book opens, and you see the pages, and the book can actually become big and come towards the player. So there's all kinds of things that happen that can only happen in virtual pinball. You can't do that in the real world. You could probably have a book toy that might vibrate when you hit these targets, but I don't think it'd actually come to life by opening the pages and all that stuff. So as you can see, this is definitely medieval. It's the evil dead, or the army of the dead, attacking the castle. So the castle is where you spend most of your time protecting yourself from the evil of dead, and this is the Evil Ash. Evil Ash is the bad guy in the game, and he commands the dead army, or the army of darkness, I think it's called. So this is kind of feels a little bit like Medieval Madness. If you think about Medieval Madness, but with a horror theme, that's kind of what this is. But it's very, very funny, and it's just such a fun experience to play. And you do meet some really interesting characters, like the Necromancer there, like the evil witch. Nope, that's the evil witch. Ash's girlfriend there, who plays a nice role. You meet the Lord, and it just gives you an opportunity to sort of play through all the events in the film, and I've put everything in this game that I could think of. And of course, you've got that incredible soundtrack that plays. If you've ever watched the film, the music is just unbelievable. The whole soundtrack is in this game, and it's the soundtrack, it's the music that makes this game so much fun and rich with atmosphere and immersion. That wonderful soundtrack. I couldn't have done this game without that soundtrack. It's that good. And the back wall there is an LCD screen. It doesn't look like it. It looks like a graphic, but I can actually use that to play anything I want. I can add an atmospheric sky, thunderstorm, fire, whatever I want. I can add to that back wall because it is an LCD player. If I wanted to be, I don't have to use it like that. So that's the Army of Darkness. So I've had a lot of fun updating this Halloween, and it is ready to be released. Providing I get those wonderful 10,000 subscribers, of course. And I will do a gameplay video and a gameplay commentary video before I move on to other projects. Oh, before I bugger off, I just wanted to show you the artwork that I did for this game. Now, if you are stupid enough to make pinball games all on your own, you're going to have to master 5 disciplines. You have to master pinball design, which is the playfield. You have to master audio design. You have to master coding, you have to master LCD animations, and you have to master artwork. Now, I can confidently say that I'm a master of code and I'm a master of audio design. But when it comes to playfield design or artwork, I'm very much an apprentice. Now, what I do is I fake it until I make it. So what I've got here is I've got a wonderful piece of art that I found on the internet, and then I've just created a composition around it. So this is one single piece of art. This is another single piece of art. This is another piece of art, and then I've created these sort of lane things here, and then I've just populated it with my own creations, which are these inserts and these kind of like what look like pages of a scroll, which kind of fit the period. The clip art there of a shotgun, the clip art there of a sword, and all the other bits and pieces. And I'll just show you. So what I do is I have a background layer. So that's the background layer. You see how the composition, that's just one image, another image, another image, and then just blend them together poorly. It's not a great blend, but when you actually go into the final composition, you can see that it all kind of works. So it's not a bad effort. So this is it. If you are crazy enough to make pinball games on your own, you have to master 5 disciplines. 5 incredibly talented disciplines. Normally there's a whole team of people that make pinball games, but if you want to do it on your own, you have to get your hands dirty. You have to do playfield artwork. You have to do animations. You have to code. You have to do audio design. You have to do layouts. You have to do everything. It drives you nuts, but it's incredibly rewarding when it all pays off. And these are the plastics as well, which are quite simple. Plastics are the easiest thing you'll ever do. And this is what I use for the whitewood. And rather than just having a whitewood, I thought I'll just stick a graphic in there. And it just says, keep your panties on. This is just placeholder art, baby. I was going to use that as a central image until I found something better. But that's like 2 seconds to put that together. Rather than just have a boring whitewood, I thought I'll just stick an image in the middle there, which makes playing the whitewood more fun. And then we got the apron. So you have to do artwork for everything. The apron, the cabinet, the back glass, even the arcade machine that I use. See, that's the texture for the arcade machine. The spinners, the sidewall has to be created as a composition. And that's the spinner there. This is the thing for the ramp on the left side. This is the cab art that I used. This is the side of the cab art. That's the side of the back box, and that's the coin door. It's a lot of work. Even the little targets here, the shotgun shells, the shield, the pick a path, and then the action button there, the lockdown bar button. And there's the texture for the flipper. Even on the flipper I added a bit of blood. So you've got to do everything. 100% it's your responsibility. You're starting with a blank canvas, but you've got to create all this. So I just wanted to sort of show you that. And this is the kind of work that you have to do if you want to go it alone and make pinball games for yourself. But I don't recommend it. I recommend you get a team and you work as a team and you make a pinball game together. But I don't work well in a team. Okay, I'm a lone wolf. I prefer to work on my own. Okay, so that's that. So I'll go back to the other video and then we'll do the usual sign off. Thank you. All right, you know what's coming. Toodaloo.
Wow, it's really something.